very much, everybody. We founded PharmaKrysto with the vision of freeing people from pain and the risk of kidney failure from a condition known as cystinuria. Cystinuria is an orphan genetic condition, a defect of amino acid transport that leads to a buildup of amino acid crystals in the kidneys, leading to a lifelong risk of pain, the need for repeated surgery to remove these crystals. Current treatments are extremely poor, low levels of toxicity and low levels of efficacy and significant toxicity. And we've licensed a family of small molecules that are patented and have shown success in vitro and in animal models. And our development plan takes us to clear development milestones at the end of preclinical, but most importantly at the end of phase 1 and the end of phase 2. And we're here today to look for investment to get us to that first milestone of being phase 1 ready. So a little bit more about cystinuria. As I said, it's a genetic condition of amino acid transport. Your kidneys normally filter back in all of your amino acids. However, if you have a defect that leads to an absence of the amino acid transporter, you end up with very high concentrations of the amino acid cysteine in your urine. And this is one of the least soluble of all of your amino acids, and it forms crystals very readily. These grow to many centimeters in size, blocking the urine flow, leading to pain, risk of infection, and the need for surgery to remove these crystals. These are not amenable to shockwave therapy, so patients have limited treatment option. We've spoken with investigators and clinicians in Europe and in the US and established that there is a high level of enthusiasm for new treatments for this condition and a willingness from patients who we've also been speaking with about participating in clinical studies. So as I said, at high concentrations, cysteine crystallizes into these regular hexagonal crystals. They start off very small but grow to many centimeters in size. Our lead compound, PK10, is a small molecule. It's an amino acid variant. It can be taken by mouth, is excreted into the urine where its mechanism of action is, and it covalently binds to the growth plates of these crystals, stopping their growth and leading to small crystals that are effectively passed in the urine without growing into large size. And we term this an amino acid or cysteine imposter. As I said, our lead compound's got good pharmaceutical properties. We know it's absorbed through mouth and excreted into the urine, would lead to quantities of drug that could lead to 1 or 2 tablets being taken per day. So the university that we in-licensed that technology from is Rutgers in New Jersey, and they've conducted studies in genetically modified mice that have the same variant as patients with cystinuria. On the left-hand side here, you'll see a group of untreated mice, all with the same genetic variant, that produce these cysteine crystal stones in their genitourinary tract. This is a group of mice at 4 months of age, with all of these stones extracted from their genitourinary tract, who were treated once a day with water. On the right-hand side, you have a similar group of mice from the same litter, treated with our lead compound once a day orally. All except one of these mice had complete absence of these crystal stones at exactly the same time. On the bottom, you'll see urine taken from this group of mice showing the regular hexagons present in the urine that is cysteine. On the right-hand side here, you'll see urine microscopy, again taken from a group of mice treated with a cysteine imposter, where very few crystals, and any crystals that do form, are amorphous in shape, showing that this is the mechanism, this is the area of activity of our lead compound PK10. Current treatment for patients with this condition is hydration, drinking many liters of water a day. You need to drink 4 or more liters of water to get the solubility of cysteine to a point where it doesn't form stones, and you need to continue that hydration during the night time as well. So you can imagine if you are a teacher, have a long commute, hydration therapy to that level is really not practical. That's why many patients turn to the existing therapy, thiopronine, which is a 30-year-old penicillamine drug. Unfortunately, the doses that are required for that to be effective lead to somewhere between 8 and 14 tablets a day. We know that if our treatment is effective, we'll be introduced as first-line treatment following hydration therapy. Our target product profile leads us to 1 to 2 tablets once or twice a day. Now looking to the commercial potential of our program, around 1 in 10,000 people form these cystine crystal stones. That leads to about 95,000 adults in the main US, European, and Japanese pharma markets. Children can also be affected by cystinuria, and there'll be another 20% on top of that. In building our market assumptions, we're looking at peak sales of around $450 million a year. That's based on data that shows that around 60% of patients need medical treatment, a peak market penetration, and a yearly pricing of around $45,000. We think that's a reasonable value-based estimate of the annual price and is a significant discount to what's currently charged for tiopronin. So we've got exclusive global license to the technology from Rutgers University. Patent's been issued, extends out to 2035. Most importantly, however, in protection of the European market, we've also been granted orphan designation for our lead molecule in Europe and have US FDA orphan designation for the program. We would expect to generate additional IP through our clinical development and also through our method of manufacture. In terms of the team founding PharmaKrysto, we've worked together previously in renal medicine. We've got experience of taking products from academic bench through to the successful completion of registration studies. And we cover off all the key areas of development, whether it's fundraising, regulatory, preclinical planning, manufacturing, and IP. Our development plan, this being an orphan product with the opportunity for exceptional approval and a single pivotal study, is relatively short. Our plan takes us from funding through to a marketable product within 6 years. We're looking to raise between 1.3 and 1.5 million pounds to get us through our preclinical phase and then into phase 1. Our phase 1 will be conducted not just in healthy volunteers, but in patients as well. There's some important surrogate work that we can do in patients that we believe will demonstrate the activity of our product and lead to our early valuation milestone at the end of phase 1. In terms of our competitors, there are 2 other companies that are active in this area. One is developing a similar penicillamine product. This is approved in Japan for treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. It's very similar to tiopronin, has thiol groups and has the same type of side effects, skin rashes, liver and bone marrow toxicity. We don't believe that it's going to have any particular advantages in terms of its tablet count. There will still be a large number of tablets people will be expected to take every day. There is a company in Texas, GlearBio, that's developed a enzymatic degradation molecule to try and break down the cystine. This has some preclinical efficacy. Unfortunately, because it's an enzyme, it can only be delivered intraperitoneally or intravenously, and that's really not practical at this stage for a chronic preventative therapy. So what have we done so far as founder members? Well, Rutgers have given us the exclusive license. Ownership of the company is very simple. The founders own the equity, with limited equity also owned by Rutgers, and the license contains single-digit royalties. As I said, we've established orphan status. We've conducted early-stage in silico toxicity screening. We've established that manufacturing of this small molecule is not going to be a challenge, and therefore an expectation of less than 10% cost of goods is very realistic. We're going to be based in Scotland, where we've had experience of working in the life science industry. We have an offer of match support from the Scottish Investment Bank for this round, and we expect our our later stages to be supported by non-dilutive grants, given that we're working in the paediatric and the orphan disease area. So just to summarize, our goal is to transform the lives of people with cystinuria through developing a compound that reduces pain and the risk of repeated hospital visits, both in children and in adults. We think there's a good commercial opportunity, as the current treatments are poor and very poorly tolerated. And our lead compound shows really convincing proof of concept data in reducing crystal cystine stones in an analogous animal model. We've got patent and orphan protection of our product, and we're forecasting peak sales of around $450 million a year. As well as the adult and the pediatric indication in cystinuria, our molecule also has potential in a second ultra-orphan indication, which would also be pediatric. And there is an animal health angle to our program as well, in that there's a group of companion animals that also suffer for cystine stones, and there's no effective treatment available for those as well. So just to summarize, we're looking to fill our Series A to raise between 1.3 and 1.5 million to get us to our first value milestone of being phase 1 ready in patients. Thank you very much. I'd be very happy to take any questions.